Can you hear it?
Tell me, can you hear it?
I have to tell you, I appreciated how absolutely unhinged the opening was to the last episode.
Well, I had to edit it finish editing when I got home because I edited like a couple of nights in bed in the hotel room, and I was like, I'll edit the rest. I got all this room up here in first class, and I didn't bring my AirPods.
Oh.
And I bought a dongle that I thought would work and spent $30
on the airport dongle.
On an airport dongle. Are we recording it?
Yeah.
This is good content for the opening. I spent $30 on a friggin' airport dongle and was so proud of myself. I was like, I don't know what a dongle is. I'm going to be able to do this. And I sat down and fuck me. Now I have that dongle sitting in there and it's going to go in the tech booth here.
Here at the Only Suits Fans tech booth.
The Only Suits Fans tech booth.
Some might call it a graveyard of technology.
And robes.
Let's clap.
1, 2, 3.
Hi, I'm Maggie.
And I'm Amanda.
And we're sisters.
In law.
We're watching Suits one episode at a time.
It's a show so nice, I've watched it twice.
And a show so great, I'm watching it late.
Thanks so much for tuning in.
Maggie's never seen it and Amanda's obsessed. They don't wear fancy suits, they are casually dressed. They are sisters-in-law and they got a show about a law firm drama that aired a few years ago. Only Suits fans, only Suits fans. Only Suits fans, only Suits fans.
Yeah.
Only Suits fans, only Suits fans.
Only Suits fans.
This is Season 5, Episode 3, No Refills. This is Season 5, Episode 4, No Puedo Hacerlo.
Amanda, I've prepared a brief and I'm pretty proud of it.
Is it? Mm-hmm. Is it a brief?
It's a brief.
A brief that you're proud of?
It's a beefy brief.
Oh, I love a good beefcake brief.
Okay, here it goes. Everyone is calling Robert Zane daddy, and boy, oh boy, are there lots of daddy issues in these episodes. Daddy Zane is going behind Mike's back and above his head to try and settle their joint case for pennies on the dollar. But it's ultimately Mike who saves Daddy Zane's ass by making a connection between client and case. Rachel is standing up for Daddy Zane's integrity and gives a look behind Mike's back like she's beginning to seriously question their future together. Lewis's sister Esther, who shares genes from the same daddy lit but looks nothing like her brother, needs a reminder from Harvey that it's not about the husband. It's about the kids from that daddy, and she should settle her divorce and move on with her potholders, and maybe heat some things up in Harvey's kitchen. And Jack tries to put baby Harvey in a corner, but Harvey big daddies it and comes out swinging. All in all, the biggest daddy of them all in these episodes is Jessica Daddy Pearson, who fixes everyone's problems with a perfect balance of tough love and having her law firm kiddos' backs.
Dang. That
Daddy
was like
dang.
the daddy of all briefs.
I really daddied it up.
You know, I think your dad and my dad would be proud of you.
I think they'd be like, wow, we raised a daughter.
Yeah, look at that. That was impressive.
Thank you.
There were times when I thought, there's no way she can work in the word daddy anymore. And look what you did.
I did. I dadded it.
You daddied it.
I dadded
You darn daddied it.
I darn daddied it.
You want to get into this one?
So this episode starts with Gretchen.
Mm-hmm.
And she is ready to get revenge on Lewis.
Yes.
She has started work early. She's triple starched Lewis's shirts. And Harvey's like, thank you, but I only play jokes on people that I have affection for. Jessica comes in and interrupts, and he's like, listen, Harvey, you need to pucker up and kiss Jack's ass. Jack.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, Jack.
Not jackass. Jack's ass.
Oh, that's interesting.
It is interesting.
Yeah, you're not kissing a jackass, you're kissing Jack's ass.
Who is a jackass?
Who is a jackass?
Jack's ass who is a jackass.
Dude, his hair is woof. I do not like it.
Jack?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. He doesn't look like a...
He doesn't look like he should have that haircut.
No.
I don't take him seriously.
Yes, I don't take him seriously either. He does not look like a threat.
No.
He looks like a worm.
He looks like an adult man who never, like, grew up and got it together, and he just put it on dress-up clothes.
Yes.
Like, I totally think he's going to skateboard out of there.
Yes. A longboard.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with skateboarding. I'm just saying, like, I don't take him seriously.
I wouldn't take an attorney skateboarding out of a high-rise seriously.
You wouldn't?
Not if he was skateboarding out and was also Jack's ass.
That's fair.
Then we get to see Slick Hair Mike.
Slick Ross.
Slick Ross. And he's getting a back rub from Rachel. And Rachel, like, comes up on the couch. And she's like, you know, I'm really worried about you working with my daddy. But Mike's like, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. And then we see Jessica and Mike talking about Robert Zane, talking about Daddy Zane. And he tells Mike, listen, you're as cocky as Harvey, but you are not Harvey.
Yeah. And then we see Robert on the phone with his feet up in Jessica's conference room. She tells him how he needs to treat Mike Ross like a partner, gives him the biz, walks out, and then Robert Zane goes, boy, I love you.
Yeah.
Which is like a weird throwaway line because he doesn't love her.
Yeah, I don't. Is he being sarcastic?
I think he loves her, like he respects her.
He respects her. They're good. They're good foes for each
they're good
other.
foes. They're friendly foes.
I was shocked he had his feet up in that conference room and was taking phone calls.
I'm not. That's an outline. It's easy. You can call. I would do that if I needed to make a call in
You would
2013. I would have just picked up the phone and used it.
Dialed 9.
Yeah,
Made a call.
or called the operator and said, "Can you give me a line out, please?"
Remember operators?
Yeah, I do remember operators.
Do they still exist?
I think so.
Yeah, they have to have someone manning the phones.
Yeah, somebody has to.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Then we hear our favorite song, and we have, after the credits, all the drama picks up.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Lewis gives Donna a music box, and she says, "Don't put me in that position again."
Yeah, she does not want to have to lie for him again. She does not want to have to cover for him because he left all of Harvey's financials on the printer. And Donna's like, I told you not to do it. You did it anyways. Don't ever do that to me again. And then Lewis tells Jack, like, I'm out of this war with Harvey. I'm done so. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
And Jack's like, don't worry. I've already won this war.
Yeah. Then we see Robert Zane. He is a no-nonsense man, and he is not going to treat Mike as an equal. But, as you noted, they are quite cute.
Yeah, they're cute together. They have a fun little banter.
They are.
Even though he's like, get up, boy.
Yeah.
Come with me, essentially. After Robert Zane leaves, Harvey comes and he's talking to Jack. Jack's in his office and he's like, guess what I got you? I got you a tea time with Charles Barkley.
What?
And Jack's like, I don't care about Charles Barkley. I care about taking you down. He throws the paper on the table and he walks out. He's like, didn't get me. I'm not wooed by you, Harvey Specter. So then Harvey takes this out on Gretchen. And he's like, Gretchen, you should have known that Jack was lying about being a Barkley fan.
Well, he takes it out on her because she did the digging. And so he went and pulled this favor with Charles Barkley, and he looks stupid because of the intel that she gave him.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like...
Yeah, I mean, maybe you can also take some responsibility for it. He didn't fact-check Gretchen.
He didn't fact-check Gretchen, and also it was a long shot because Jack has Harvey's number. Jack knew what he was doing, could smell him a mile away before he even knew who he was supposed to tea time with.
Yep. Harvey goes to yell at Mike about not being able to help him, and then Robert Zane steps in, like Mike's daddy, to tell him that they need to leave to be on time. And that's when Harvey realizes that they're doing a case together, and it's like Harvey is the stepdaddy.
He is. Or like Robert Zane's the stepdaddy who's come in
Who's
and
cool
taken.
dad? Who's cool stepdad?
Yeah.
Cool bonus dad?
Yeah, and Mike's like, sorry, Dad, I gotta go with Daddy Zane.
Yep.
Now he's yelled at Gretchen. Now he's yelled at Mike. No one can help him. He needs help getting out of this Jack situation.
Yes.
So Jessica goes and asks Rachel a favor, meanwhile, and she wants her to read over a speech by a client, Quentin Barnes, and look for any areas that could be taken wrong, kind of do a proof of it.
See if there's any exposure.
Exposure, right.
Yeah.
And Rachel's like, yay, oh my gosh, I love Quentin Barnes. I can't believe it.
Gretchen apologizes and says, what's done is not done. And she pulls out the bio of Jack's third biggest client for Harvey to poach him because she's got something up her sleeve, and we will see what that is in a second.
Yeah, she's like not going to take...
The fact that she messed up, she's going to fix this fast.
She's a little prankster.
Yeah, she's a prankster.
She's kind of got 2 pranks, and it's just the opening couple scenes.
Yeah.
So then we see Mike and Robert meeting with their client, the widow, and Mike just woos everyone in this room. She's like, I don't know, you guys left me hanging. And then he gives his orphan backstory, and she's like, great, I'm going to sign. And then Mike and Robert walk away. They have this heart-to-heart, and Robert tells Mike, like, you can call me Dad. And then he's like, no, not really. And Mike's like, really? After I just shared my orphan story? Mm-hmm. But I really laughed at that a lot. Yeah. I was like, oh my God. Yeah. You can call me Dad. Daddy's name.
Which brings me to an official depot that I have noted here. Mike woos everyone with his orphan backstory. This is like a big part of who he is, and it's, as we find out in this scene, the reason he became an attorney. If you were going to move someone to action by wooing them with one of your backstories, what would it be?
Well, can I tell you, I recently did woo some people.
Oh, okay.
I didn't necessarily use my backstory, but I did use humor.
Okay.
Some charm.
Okay.
We had to pick our trunk theme for our class trunk or treat for the school. And people were kind of like, oh, you know, I don't really know. Maybe something like this. And then I was like, wait, I just saw something on Pinterest. And I said, we have to make a giant cat and then make a litter box and hide the candy in the litter box. And kids have to scoop it out and find it. And at first, I would say half to 75% of the people who are helping with this were horrified at the idea of scooping out cat poop candy. Mm-hmm. They were not. They were like, that kind of makes me gag.
These are other parents?
Yeah, these are the parents. And I said, okay, well, here's like 4 reasons, right? And I just whipped up 4 reasons why this is the best idea. And they said, you got me. Okay, we'll do it. So I have assembled a giant cardboard cat in my garage. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's happening, and I'm thrilled about it. I feel like I really used my woo for good here to make a significant difference in the lives of children.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd love to borrow your car possibly just to get the cat there.
Yeah, you gotta get the cat there.
Because I don't know. My van is in the shop, so I might.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I got this huge cat, and I need a car I can fit it in.
Yeah.
So look at me wooing you.
Yeah, you're wooing me. Okay, well, it's good to know.
Do you have one?
Oh, like a backstory?
All of them. You have so many backstories.
I've got a lot of backstories. I think it depends on the audience.
You have a lot of great, like...
life lessons.
Here's a lesson for you, kiddo.
Yeah. Let me tell you something old Amanda did back in her day.
You could sign a lot of people to your firm. So Rachel then presents this speech for Dr. Barnes. She's gone through. She's looked for exposure. She's also completely rewritten it because Dr. Barnes has a way more powerful backstory than she's giving herself credit for. Mm-hmm. So Jessica's like, great, I'll present the changes. And why don't you come see the speech? And Rachel's like, oh my gosh.
Everything's so great.
Yeah, everything's so great.
So then Harvey interrupts Jack's meeting with his client. And he has Jack step out of the conference room. He sends Charles Barkley in to take a selfie with the client. And the client is ecstatic. Harvey has Jack look back over there and he's like, hey, I'm coming after you because I represent all the famous basketball players. So just you wait. I'm coming after you, boy.
Boy. Mm-hmm. I was shocked that it was the real Charles Barkley.
You were?
And at first I was like, are they just using him for this selfie shot? But then we see him later.
Right.
Robert Zane and Mike are meeting with the insurance company who has presented an offer. And the offer, they're like, this is toilet paper. This is not even worth my time to be reviewing this. They show how many people they have between their 2 firms to work on the case. They're like, you cannot bury us in paperwork because we have pretty much an endless ability to fight this. And Daddy Zane drops that they also have a $20 billion hedge fund that's footing the bill for this. So Mike's kind of like, whoa, I didn't know about that. So he's upset that Robert didn't disclose this. And Robert's like, I didn't tell you because I did it on my own, which is, kind of shady.
Shady. Also, Mike's butthurt because Mike's like, I tried to do this too. I tried to go to a hedge fund. And Robert says something like, well, you wouldn't be telling me about this right now if you had been successful. So you could tell Mike is butthurt that Robert Zane pulled it off and he couldn't.
Yeah, that he not only pulled it off, but he also didn't tell him. Like, a lot of this is shame, shame, shame.
He's a shady daddy.
He's so shady. He's so daddy. Like, I love you, but also I'm going to pull the rug out from under you kind of daddy.
Yeah. Jack tells Jessica that she needs to put a leash on Harvey, and Jessica says, you don't have proof.
Yeah, you don't have any proof that Harvey's coming after your clients.
Nope. No. And then he says, if you can't control him, maybe you shouldn't be controlling the firm.
Oof.
I just put more money in every partner's pocket, so you better listen to me when I talk. And Jessica looks unfazed, but then you also said maybe she does look a little bit fazed.
Yeah, she kind of is such a tough exterior when he's in the room, and then he leaves, and there's just a slight shift in her face.
Tiny little face shift.
Gina
Tiny
Torres
little face
perfect.
shift, tiny little face shift. That's what we have is a tiny little face shift. All right.
Then we see Rachel snuggling up to Mike while he's working. This is actually the scene that I thought was at the very beginning, but this is another time that she's snuggling up with him. Mm-hmm. So Rachel's snuggling up to Mike, and she's trying to be super charming and super delightful, reminding him, like, I'm right. Working with my dad is super hard, and I told you not to do it. Kind of like a cutesy, I told you so, which Mike does not receive very well.
Right.
He's not into the cutesy. And he's like, all I want is respect from Daddy Zane. Which is kind of makes sense because all Rachel wants is respect from Daddy Harvey. And since Harvey is like Mike's dad and Daddy Zane is Rachel's dad, it makes sense that they want respect from the other daddy. Was that too convoluted?
No, I think that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Then we see Harvey and Charles Barkley. They have polished off a steak dinner like you do, right, with a famous NBA player. And Charles is like, that's the best steak I've ever had. Harvey's like, hey, great. Glad you liked it. I need a favor. He's like, I'm not taking more selfies. He's like, no, I need you to get the dream team back together. I need selfies with all of the guys from the dream team. And Barkley's like, hell no. Make sure you leave a big tip. People think I'm paying.
Yeah.
And he walks out. And my question to you is, if you had to get the dream team back together, who would be your dream team?
I think it would be Harvey, Donna, Mike, Jessica, Louis Litt,
Okay.
Rachel Zane.
Okay.
And I would put them all together and I would do a season 10 because then I wouldn't be almost halfway done with this series.
Great answer.
Thank you.
Ditto.
Twice, times two. Double
All right.
dream. We see Jack coming in to talk to Louis, and he's going to hit Harvey where it hurts. And he's going too far, honestly, with this one. He wants Louis to rewrite the bylaws to make what Jack is proposing appropriate. Jack is trying to get rid of these contingency pay plans, which is how Harvey makes his $20 million. This would essentially make him make no money while he is a named partner at the firm. And Jack tells Louis, like, you have to do it because you did it once. And if you don't do it this time, I'm going to tell everybody about it.
Yep.
As if people don't know Louis did that. Everyone in Power knows Louis did that.
Everybody in Power, but not everybody else at the firm.
That's true. And I guess if Jack told everyone at the firm that it was Louis, that would be a huge
Remember
riot.
that big old notebook of all the people at the firm? That's
yeah,
a lot of people.
there's a lot of people to be in on that, Gus. That's true.
Donna gives Louis back that music box that he gave her because Louis did not stand up to Jack. And Louis tells Donna about the fight that he and Harvey had about over the money with Donna and her compensation. And he was like, please don't leave me. She's like, I'm not leaving you, Louis.
Yeah, he's like, he told me he was going to get you back.
Yeah.
She's like, no. No.
No.
They see Robert Zane scheduled a hearing to have Judge Hernandez dismiss the motion. So they get this motion, and Robert Zane's like, let's dismiss it. Let's go right to trial so that we can settle this thing right away. And Mike's like, I don't think that's a good move. I think we should wait until this new bill passes because then our clients could get way more money. Like, we're talking hundreds of $1,000s more. And Robert's like, no, I have no respect for you. This is a bad decision. We're doing my way or the highway. And as he's leaving, he literally runs into Harvey and they have exchanged some words. And he goes, I'll pay for your suit because you spilled coffee on it. I'm paying for everything else around here.
Yeah. He's kind of throwing that around.
What a manipulative daddy.
He is a manipulative daddy.
Using his money and power to control everybody.
Harvey is confronted by Donna and tells him she is not some prize and she might never, ever, ever come back to him. Gretchen hears this and reminds Harvey he has a meeting with Jessica because he was like trying to walk out and she's like, not now, Gretchen. And she's like, I know, but I've got to remind you that you need to see Jessica.
Yeah, after this like super tense moment. Ugh. Is that a good move by Gretchen or a bad move by Gretchen?
Well, I could argue both ways. One, it distracts him and gets him down to see Jessica, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, though, I have like that whole thing of like, don't give somebody the notes right before something big is about to happen or something has just happened. Like, give them time. It's like reading the room and knowing like, is this the time or is it that urgent that I have to tell you? But it sounds like it was pretty urgent because she's like, I have to tell you, you've got to go see Jessica. So it must have been that Jessica was like, I'll get down here.
Get him right now.
I'll get down here.
Go, get down here.
Get down here right now.
Yeah, Daddy Pearson is my favorite daddy in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So Mike is in the library. Donna has just come off this fight with Harvey, this emotional thing. And Mike's like, hey, Donna, I need to know if Harvey can talk to Judge Hernandez and postpone the hearing. And she's like, do it on your own. I'm not his secretary. Like, I'm literally not his secretary anymore. And Mike's like, ugh.
Yowzers.
Yowzers.
Yeah. Harvey tells Jessica why he tried to steal Jack's clients. And she says it's not just between Jack and Harvey. Harvey then confronts her about Zane. And Jessica has to keep telling him about how she's in control by pretending she's in control when other things happen.
Yeah, it's like everything. She keeps being like, well, I had to tell Zane I knew about it, and I had to tell Jack I knew that you were stealing his clients. And I had to tell everyone that I knew these things because everyone's going around behind my back.
Yep. Jessica also tells Harvey to get his abandonment issues under control, and Harvey regrets flushing those anxiety horse pills down the toilet.
Yeah, he's got to be feeling that right now.
Yeah. He then starts walking down the hall, and he's like loosening his necktie. You can tell he's sweating, and he starts to have a panic attack in front of Mike Ross. He did some great shaky work, as you noted here, like Donna did in the last episode. Mike thinks he's having a heart attack, and he's going to call 911, and Harvey's like, no, it's a panic attack. And he gets him some water, and then in walks Jack and says that they are proposing no compensation, that Lewis gave his approval. And then Harvey says, when you say I looked at you as competition, you were wrong. I never looked at you as anything at all. And he does this, like, trying to fake it through. And then, like, as soon as he walks out, he's like, woof. And he goes and sits down. And Mike's like, are you okay? And I feel this because this is, like, for sure, you have to fake it when you're feeling awful. Mm-hmm. And I've been there. Haven't you ever been, like, sick and you're like, I'm going to fake it?
I don't do this well.
Oh, okay.
I'm more like, no, I'll put this off. I'll respond to that later when I'm feeling better. Yeah, I was impressed that he was able to pull it all together, because anytime I've had a panic attack, I'm like, it's not, I'm never like, wait a second. When you said I looked at you as competition, I don't look at, I could never think of that.
Yeah.
I could never think of that when my mind is racing. Yeah. This is Harvey just falling into his old habits. It's like second nature for him to come back at people.
Yeah.
I also wonder if for Mike it was more scary thinking he was having a heart attack or more scary thinking he was having a panic attack.
It's a great question. Maybe one day we'll get to ask him.
Maybe we will. Mike Ross.
Harvey goes to a psychiatrist's house during dinner and like knocks on the door. She has one of those houses or like brownstones where she lives upstairs, and then the basement entrance is to, her office. And he says he threw out his pills. She says, I'm a psychiatrist, I'm at a pharmacy, and you've got to do the work and you've got to make an appointment. And he says, do you have any time available in 10 minutes? So she ends up making time for him.
Because he has that little cute puppy dog face.
No, we call it a specter smile.
That little specter smile. Because he's like, I just want you to have time to eat dinner.
Yeah.
Then we see Rachel and Jessica. They both look absolutely stunning. Ball gowns for this event.
Yeah.
And we find out that Jessica is actually the keynote speaker. And Rachel's like, why'd you have me proof your speech? And Jessica says, well, I care about your opinion. No, I don't really care about your opinion, but I do care about your development. And this is when Jessica tells Rachel, you remind me of me.
I bet that makes Rachel's life.
I bet she's just over the frickin' moon.
Yeah, no kidding. Then we're back at the psychiatrist, and she says that Harvey can't just pay people to be loyal. And then she transforms into Donna. And then all of a sudden, Harvey is having this like conversation with Donna. So he's looking at the psychiatrist, but he's actually seeing Donna. And then all of a sudden, he kind of snaps back because she says, how does it feel to be taking the first steps to regain control?
Which is not what Donna was saying.
Not at all. I thought it was very interesting that that's what they said there.
Right. Because I was wondering if like that entire conversation was not really happening was just in his head and he's not in control of it. I don't know. It was very interesting. Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm really glad that this happened too, that he had another panic attack, because when he flushed those pills in the last episode that we covered, I was like, this is like crazy to me.
Right.
This is wild.
He's not healed.
He's not healed. So I'm really glad that he came back to her.
Yeah.
And that they're working through it.
Yeah.
Then we see Mike Ross once again using his boy wonder skills. It is at the hearing, and he's like, here's all. They're like, we should just postpone, or we should just whatever. I don't know. Motion to not do what Robert Zane wanted.
Yeah. Motion to not do this.
No, yeah. He's like, wait a second. Here's every single client. It's like a Bible, so thick. He goes, turn to any page and I'll tell you about them. And the judge does it. And Mike's saying this is a demonstration that they care deeply about all of their clients. And this is not just for a payday. This is for justice, right? But that's because the judge doesn't know that he can memorize things. And he does care, but also this is like an empathy pull that's not necessarily genuine. Mm-hmm. But he woos everyone, again, with his tricks.
Yeah.
So Robert's like, hey, I want to take my partner out to lunch.
And then we see Gretchen, and she says she has some news for Harvey that just can't wait. And so she hands Harvey her resume, and she goes, I want to explain to you the 2-year gap in my resume. I had panic attacks because my husband passed away and her children were grown, and she wanted him to know that she doesn't have them anymore. And it was just like a really sweet moment between them. And he said, thanks. And I love that she did that without saying, like, actually calling it. But it's like, of course she's listening in on his conversations. That's what they all do.
Right.
And I just really like Gretchen.
I think she's starting to find her footing there, right? So we started with a couple missteps here. The starch shirts for Lewis, but she's finding her groove and she's showing that she cares. And I think she's quick and smart and is going to do well. We also see Mike and Harvey. It ends with them walking to go out to dinner, and then Harvey steps in to just talk to Lewis. But he doesn't just talk to Lewis. He runs and he yells at him. And he's like, I will bury you if you ever side with Jack again. Like, you think he's just, like, he's having this nice conversation with Mike, and then he's like, wait a second. I have to tell him to bury you.
Yeah.
He goes crazy. Okay, so we roll right into episode 4.
Yeah, we do. We roll.
We roll. We literally roll over there.
Yeah, we roll.
That's how we roll into another episode on Netflix. So we open, and first we see Mike and Harvey talking, and Mike's like, oh yeah, we're going to settle the case. Zane's awesome. We did it. And then Harvey's like, wait a second. I have to go talk to this beautiful woman who's trying to get into the building. Yeah. So they go and meet with Carl, the security guard.
Nice, Carl, that you write in. You gave yourself a character. Every writer does that.
Everyone
fun that
does
he was just
it.
a security guard.
Yeah, it fits.
Yeah.
And Carl, the security guard, is talking to this beautiful woman, and he's like, you can't. That last time I let someone in, I got eaten up. Like, I got beat up by Harvey Specter.
Right.
And then Harvey Specter comes and he's like, let her in. Let her in.
He's very forward. Who is she meeting with, right?
We don't know who she's meeting with.
She's just a beautiful woman. Harvey can't help himself. Katrina comes to talk with Mike, and she has pulled some strings to do the grunt work on this case, and she is not trying to steal Mike from her boss's daughter. She thinks Mike got her the job, so she wants to say thank you. And then Mike's like, actually, you owe Rachel a big thank you. And then they both go, she. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's this, like, weird, does she like him? No. She doesn't like him at all. But she likes him as a person. So then we find out who this beautiful woman is, because she actually went up to Pearson Specter. Litt. That's where she went, because her last name is Litt. But she's not married to Louis Litt. She is Louis Litt's sister. Her name is Esther Litt, and she needs a lawyer. What a reveal. I had no idea this was going to be Esther.
Yeah.
She's getting a divorce.
Well, I misled you in last episode.
What?
By talking about Norma. He has all these women in his life
that we never see.
Yeah.
Oh, you set that up.
Yeah, to distract you.
Wow, a real smoke and mirrors.
Here's the thing. I might have done that in some other instances too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Just keep going, please.
Well, she's a real smoke and mirror.
Yeah.
Like, she's hot. Like, she's beautiful. Would not have, even if you had been like, we are going to meet Esther Litt in the next episode we record, I would not have pegged that this is Esther Litt.
I know.
So she wants a lawyer for this divorce, and she doesn't want her brother because it's too personal. She wants Harvey Specter. And she knows that Louis is not really friends with Harvey. because she read his diaries in high school and knows that he idolizes these men who don't give two toots about him. She's like, here we go. Let's do this. And he's like, okay, I'll do it. But he's not really planning on doing it. He doesn't want Esther to go with Harvey because Harvey's mad at him. So Donna comes in and convinces him, like, this is family. Harvey understands family. Let him take this case. But she's really surprised that that's Esther as well.
And Lewis is like, no, you're not. I mean, I know it's just like looking at me with a wig on, and which is completely not true.
It's so funny.
It is really funny.
They look nothing alike.
I know.
It's like when Jessica Pearson's sister walked into the restaurant, or when they were in the restaurant, I was like, that's her sister. I get it. They 1000% are related. Esther, I can't even see it. Now that I've seen it, I can't even see it.
Yeah. You can unsee it because you can't see it.
I can't even unsee it. Yeah, because I can't. It's
right.
Exactly it.
We see Mike and Daddy Zane, and Mike guesses that Daddy Zane got them $90 million for that settlement, but it turns out he only got them $25 million. Mike is pissed. He yells at him. He's like, that's not near enough money, like, at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we hear our favorite song.
Did you the song?
Yeah. Our favorite song, meaning the theme song. What was it again?
Suits. We're watching Suits.
That is not the song.
Only Suits fans. Only Suits fans.
Not it either.
A greenback booger.
That's it. There we go. Nice try. All right. After the credits.
So we see Katrina again, and she's talking to Mike. He is now at Robert Zane's office, and he's like, he's blown this. He's messed up. And she goes, no. He actually really cares about his clients. That's one thing that you have to say about him.
Yeah. Lewis tells Harvey he has a $50 million company he wants to give him, and it's his sister's. And Harvey says, hey, I'm not a divorce attorney. And then Lewis says, when has a shitty detail like that ever stopped you? And Lewis just says, please don't sleep with Esther. And Harvey's like, okay, don't worry, I won't. And then you wrote, oops.
Oopsie daisies.
Yeah.
Because he thinks what everyone else is thinking. Then we see Mike, and he is talking to Robert Zane. He's like, we need to counter this. He gives a really great case for why they should counter it. And Robert's like, you and Rachel are peas in a pod. Like, he can't resist it. So he is going to go, even though he disagrees, to try and counter this offer.
Then we see Rachel. She's walking, doing a little walk and talk, or a tracking shot, as we like to call it in the biz, with Harvey. And she's surprised that he hasn't ever heard of Esther and her incredible potholders. Essentially, she's kind of like a Martha Stewart, I guess, of her, in her domain. And he said, I'm going to walk in there. I'm going to shake this woman's meaty hand. I'm going to get this over with as soon as possible. Then all of a sudden he walks in and said, it's nice to meet the woman I've obviously heard nothing but lies about.
Yeah, because he's
like,
giddy.
it's you. And she's like, it's you.
They're so flirty, and Rachel's just standing in the background.
Lewis walks by with a blue folder and senses the sexual tension, and he's kind of trying to like disguise himself, and then he runs into the office next door, gets up on a chair, puts a glass up to the window, and tries to hear through there until Donna walks in and catches him.
Yeah, he's trying to get all the dirt. Because he doesn't want Harvey to sleep with Esther, but he's probably going to sleep with Esther. We hear Esther say that she is driving the divorce. She's the one who wants out of the marriage, and he has to go get her this deal. It's like 25% of the company, and now her ex is trying to get more. She doesn't want to step away from the negotiations, but Harvey's like, you actually have to, because the reason he keeps coming to the table is because you are at the table. He wants to get at you, not this money.
Yeah. And so he says, if you don't let me take over the negotiations, you have to find another attorney. Dang.
And Rachel's like, okay, what's going on there?
Yeah, she wants to talk about the chemistry.
But Jessica wants to actually talk about Lewis's sister because she thinks that Harvey is doing a good thing by taking this case on.
Robert and Mike meet with Kelton insurance attorneys, and they present the 3 cases with higher payouts because they're trying to prove a point of like, hey, you gotta pony up here. We need to see more than $25 million. And then they're not going to. They said, this is our best offer. And Mike says, well, we'll see you in court. And Kelton attorneys say, we will pull the whole damn thing. But Robert already, behind Mike's back, got all the clients to sign off on what would be $70,000 net to each of them. And he says, I didn't go behind your back. I went over your head, because he went to Jessica, Daddy Pearson.
This is again like where Daddy Zane is so triggering because he makes it feel like, oh, you and Rachel, 2 peas in the pod. Yeah, I'll take you there. But he's not actually there to listen to your side or be an equal with you or watch you do your work. He has already solved a problem. He's just going to pull that out and not solve it alongside you. So Rachel and Harvey meet with Jeffrey, who is Esther's ex, to negotiate the divorce. Esther is not there. Harvey slides a completely empty folder across the table. And he's like, you either accept the previously agreed upon terms or you get nothing. Unfortunately, news to Harvey and Rachel, there was a verbal contract between Jeffrey and Esther when he was applying to med schools. He was like, I won't go to med school. I'll sacrifice my dream to support your dream of this company. And she said, while driving on the Jersey Turnpike, like, okay, you'll get half of everything. Like, we're equal partners in this. So that verbal agreement trumps the written agreement that says 25%. So he is going for 50%.
Yeah, it just sucks when it's verbal. Right? You don't have proof, and that means somebody could lie.
Right.
Yeah.
And Harvey's pissed about that.
Yeah.
But not as pissed as Mike is.
Oh, God, Mike is so pissed because Jessica went over his head. And she reminds him this is all about the money.
Yeah. And she's just like, sit down, little boy.
Yeah, come on. Now, I'm in charge. Jessica, Daddy Pearson.
So Harvey goes to talk to Esther about the 50% split. She's like, okay, yeah, I might have said that, but I don't have to say it in a deposition. Harvey's like, you absolutely do, because you have to be honest. She goes, this is why I'm walking away from this marriage. He's the one who had the affair, so there's no way I want to give him any of my company. Right. He's the one who broke up this marriage.
Yes. She
says this thing to Harvey. She's like, I'm sure you wouldn't understand, but an affair is awful.
Yeah.
And Harvey, of all the people on the show, understands that.
Lewis did not know why the divorce was happening, but Lewis knew that, or Donna knew that he would take this case because of family. And then the other thing is that he gets family and he gets infidelity.
Yes.
Like, those things are stuff that resonate with Harvey.
Just like Mike gets orphans.
Yes.
Harvey gets infidelity.
And Rachel gets coming from a lot of money.
And Jessica gets power moves.
Yes.
And Lewis gets
a skewed version of what he looks like.
Yes.
And Donna gets a wannabe actress.
Yes.
Taking a safe job.
Yes. Oh, we've just really narrowed it down.
We've narrowed it down and really peeled back a couple layers of maybe not even an onion, but a nice shallot.
Yes,
shall you say?
Shallot.
A shallot.
Harvey needs to find some loopholes, so he's going to ask Rachel to find some loopholes.
Of course, yes. So Katrina and Mike are together, and she says, even though this deal sucks, at least they got to work together again. And then they rehash how they met, and then Mike has this, like, aha moment because one of them says something about Delta, or he sees something about Delta, and he realizes that one of Robert Zane's clients invests in Kelton, and so that means that Robert Zane was working this deal to benefit his client who invests in Kelton Insurance.
Right. That's Mike's assumption.
Yes.
Because he's got this photographic memory.
Yes.
And he's like, okay, this is really shady. Which clients is Zane doing right by? These orphans, these widows, or himself and his rich broker who's doing the funding.
Right.
Then we see Donna, and she goes and talks to Harvey and tries to remind him that at the end of the day, they're all family. Right? She's trying to also play this family card.
Yeah.
Then she has this real fight with him, much similar to the fight that he had in the psychiatrist's office.
Yes.
And Harvey shakes it off.
Yeah.
He's like, whatever. You know, I'm going to be fine. He doesn't have a panic attack.
Nope.
He's processing it. I think he's improving.
Then Lewis goes to see Rachel and tells her how proud he is of her. But she won't tell him about Esther's case. Like, he's trying to butter her up, right? And
she's like, what good are you then?
Yeah. And then she does finally tell Lewis that Jeffrey cheated on Esther. And he's like, then y'all go after that son of a bitch. You know? So he's protecting
family is everything.
Yeah, family's everything.
Mike talks to Robert about the Delta Financial, and Robert says, like, you need to watch what you're... Like, you're coming in with these big accusations. Like, watch what you're saying. He is an honest man. And Mike says, if you're an honest man, you need to disclose it then. But Robert says, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to disclose it.
Harvey walks Esther in to be deposed, and it's a surprise. She does not know what's going to happen. So it turns out that Jeffrey gave up everything. He gave up going to
med school
so that Esther could keep her business going, right? And he had been accepted and was going, and he gave it up. It's what he told her. And so Jeffrey talks about all this, and then Esther says, we had everything and you ruined it. And then while she says this, we see Harvey like glancing over in the distance at Donna when she goes, we had everything and you ruined it. Which really resonates. What's also interesting about this is that Jeffrey never got into med school.
Right.
So he lied about giving everything up. He had nothing to give up. He had to be a stay-at-home dad.
Yes.
Esther had to bring home the bacon.
Yes.
And the potholders for the bacon.
He had to believe her.
Yeah.
It was hot bacon she was bringing home with all those
She was bringing
potholders.
not just bacon, but tasty sizzling. Do you remember this?
Sizzling.
Sizzling. It was a lean bacon that came out. It's like, this is not just bacon, it's tasty sizzling. Don't worry, we'll put a link in the show notes. It is a video of these people like cooking lean bacon. I think it was just bacon without the fat on it before we just came up with turkey bacon.
Is it like bacon strips?
It's not bacon strips. Like, we didn't feed it to the dog, but
No.
it was, this isn't just bacon, it's tasty sizzling. If any of you listeners out there are in your 40s and up, you would remember sizzling, the lean bacon.
I like too how when you said it in one of those times that you said sizzling, you said it so fast it sounds like you were like, yeah, it's tasty slizzling. It's tasty sizzling.
Sometimes I talk fast.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I was like, what a beautiful name.
Tasty sizzling.
Tasty sizzling. Hello, Shazine.
Hi, Shazine.
Hello, Shazine
Hey,
here.
you're tasty? Okay, come on, after you.
Okay, so Mike tells Jessica that if she's the one who took this and she knew about it, she knew it was unethical and possibly illegal what Robert Zane did. And Jessica says, oh, you mean it would make him a fraud? And meanwhile, Rachel overhears this and she comes and yells at Mike about attacking her father. And she's like, you need to give him the benefit of the doubt because he might be a crazy daddy.
Yeah.
But he is also an honest man and a
And
good
it's
man.
her daddy.
And it's my daddy. And I'm from my daddy. From his loin.
You're from his loins. You're from your daddy's loins. When I was watching this for however many umpteenth times, I had to just like snap into it and be like, am I really watching her give Mike the biz?
She was giving him the biz.
Give him the biz.
Yes.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
great.
you mean it would make him a fraud, Mr. Fraudster?
Well, the other reason I liked it is because every time High and Mighty Ross comes in and is like, here's what somebody's doing wrong, they throw it back at him. They're like, you ain't a fucking attorney.
Right.
You know? Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Right.
He does this all the time. And like, so I highlighted it here. I don't have a depot. It's just more like, can we just please take a moment of silence for all the times that Mike has decided to be High and Mighty Ross?
You know what? I just thought, though, it's like he without sin cast the first stone.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm like, Jessica's over here being like, oh, it would make him a fraud, Mr. Fraud man. Oh, hi, little Mr. Fraudster. And he's like, Jessica, my friend, you also welcomed this fraud into your firm.
Yeah, they're all part of it. They're all
Yeah.
family. It's a family of frauds.
A family of frauds. A family affair, a family of frauds. Esther comes in to see Harvey, and they sit down and have a drink, and he talked them down to 25%. And Harvey's like, you should take this. You should take this deal. And he explains why he wasn't a divorce attorney, because there are children involved. And some things are bigger than money. And Esther really hears this and accepts this, and she signs off on the paperwork. And then she's like, great, now that I'm not your client, Harvey's like, now I can take you home. Even though he made a verbal agreement with Louis Litt that he would not sleep with Esther.
We don't know. He probably just, because Ray has room in that Lexus, took her home, gave her a ride home.
You think so?
You think they were having sex?
I think they were having some sex.
Okay.
But maybe just like...
They left it up to the imagination.
They did.
It's like, you know the song, Take Me Home Tonight. It's because I can't find my keys and it's really light outside. Take me home tonight. I'm kidding, I just made that up.
It's a catchy song.
You know the song?
I
Take Me
do.
Home Tonight? Okay.
I do. I was just joking as if you wrote.
I'm just saying, like, you could interpret it one way.
You could. You could.
Whiskey's not a big sigh because he doesn't even know.
He doesn't even know that song.
Yeah. Louis knocks on Donna's door. We've been seeing this a lot. People knocking on Donna's door. Knock, knock, knocking on Donna's door.
Knock, knock, knocking on Donna's door.
Knock, knock, knocking on Donna's door. Her, 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 yeah. It's a long song.
Yeah,
It
that's
is.
a long one.
So Lewis is knocking on Donna's door to tell her that Esther is sleeping with Harvey. And she says there is no way he would do that, and Lewis cannot do anything about it between now and when she comes into work. Because she was like, why did you come to my apartment tonight? Chill the F out.
Wait, though, I think actually when I wrote these notes, he comes to say that Harvey is screwing Esther.
Oh, he does say.
But I interpreted that as Harvey is sleeping with Esther.
Because just because someone takes somebody home.
Does not mean, I know, but I just like, in my head, I was like, Lewis knows that Harvey's screwing Esther. And I was thinking
he
like.
meant like, I'm going to screw. Oh, gosh. Maggie, glad we couldn't see that one. She just did an reenactment, listeners, of what it looks like to go pokey pokey.
Pokey pokey. We do the pokey pokey.
The hokey pokey. Yes, he meant that Harvey's screwing Esther, meaning like giving her a bad deal.
Right, like she should not take 25%.
And you thought it meant
Screwing.
pokey pokey.
Mm-hmm. Pokey pokey artichokey. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she's like, no, go home and don't ever come back.
Please stop. Everybody stop knocking on my door.
Then we see Rachel, and she is putting on makeup, and Mike is like, hey, I'm letting this go. The settlement is good enough for the clients. They're all so excited about it. Mm-hmm. I should not have questioned Robert Zane because he raised a fantastic daughter. Mm-hmm. He says that Robert Zane did a really good job raising Rachel because look at her. She's defending him, and she's standing up for her daddy. Mm-hmm. And he asks, will our daughter leap to my defense someday? And she says she sure will, and gives him a hug. And then over his shoulder, her face is like, oh no, what have I done?
I don't think I noticed that.
You didn't see that?
No. Is it because she realized she's stuck with a fraud?
I think so. It's like this face she gives. Like, Kyle and I both noticed it. We were like, whoa, what is that face?
Wow. And you put it in all caps.
Yeah, it looks like despair. Like, oh no.
Yeah.
I'm coming from my dad is an honest guy who's actually a brilliant attorney. And I am marrying someone who probably reminds me of my dad because he's a brilliant quote unquote attorney, but he's actually a fraudster and he's actually not an attorney. And this is no good for our baby girl. Like when you start talking about children, then you're like, oh my gosh, I could be bringing a life into this world.
You guys really read into some eye contact.
We did. Mm-hmm. We read hard into it.
Lewis comes face to face to confront Harvey about screwing his sister.
Yeah, screwing her financially.
Yeah.
And then Harvey's like, listen, she was happy with the deal. And Lewis says, wrong, Litz are never happy. And they have this big misunderstanding moment.
Yes. Okay. And then Mike sees Robert in his office. And Robert accuses Mike about going to the investment banker. But it was actually Jessica. And it's a good thing because they saved him from committing a crime. Jessica offers to buy Robert a drink. Yes.
So Robert's initially mad because he's like, why would you do that? Mm-hmm. And then it's like, wait, no. You should be thanking us because we saw this thing and this could have come back and bit you. Because no one would believe that Robert Zane didn't know this was going on. Mm-hmm. Then we see Esther and she comes to talk to Harvey and thank him for reminding her of what's really important. And she passes along that Lewis also wants to tell him how grateful he is, which is sweet. Mm-hmm. I did notice that like this did not look like a woman who just boned Harvey Specter.
She was so fresh and so clean.
She was fresh, she was clean, but she didn't look like...
She didn't have a Specter glow.
Yeah, she didn't have that Specter glow.
Yeah. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Seems like they're never going to see each other again based on the way that she was like, goodbye, Harvey.
Goodbye. Yeah. Good day.
Yeah. Harvey goes to talk to Lewis to make up for the compensation vote directly and says it's not about the money, it's about making things right. And Lewis says he is sorry. He was assuming Harvey was using her to get to him, and he will take care of the compensation issue. Yeah,
because this is what happened to Lewis all throughout his entire life. People would use him to get to his sister and then ditch him.
Yep.
Harvey thanks Donna on the way out for 12 years.
Yeah, he walks up and he's like, hey, I just want to thank you. And she goes, for what? And he goes, for 12 years.
And he just walks, and then The Scientist by Coldplay starts playing, and Donna tears up as it sings, I had to find you, tell you I need you, tell you I set you apart. Tell me your secrets. Ask me your questions.
Speaking of questions, do you wanna get on a train?
Down to prediction town. Chugga, 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 choo, choo. Yes, I would. And look, we're here.
All right.
I still feel like Robert Zane is going to discover Mike. I feel like...
Okay.
Or he gets close and then Rachel calls it off to call Robert off of Robert. I don't know. But just that face that Rachel gave talking about their future daughter was so telling to me. And it feels like they are doomed. And she is going to be bouncing.
Okay.
Then we see Donna's tears at the end. Also very telling.
Mm-hmm.
She's not done with Harvey. He's not done with her. The half look back by Harvey too was like...
The half look back is so hard to watch.
It's like, I'm always going to love you. But also, I'm hopeful that this will mend their relationship. I don't think she needs to go back to being his secretary. But hopefully they can get back to being Harvey and Donna.
Mm-hmm.
And that relationship. And maybe because she doesn't work for him, maybe that opens up other doors.
Are you saying pokey?
Maybe they could pokey.
Segs?
Maybe they could
You want me to cut that?
You're gonna cut that? You don't think that should be in there? That's my impression of Harvey, by the way.
Only if we could see your face.
I'll save it for Instagram Live.
Okay.
I also feel like Jessica is always behind the 8 ball, but keeps making it work. It does feel like, again, she has a lot of balls in the air, though. And I don't know if this Jack thing... I don't know if that's going to come back and bite her, because he did slip in, like, everyone loves me because I got them more money. So I do think that Lewis is going to try to make this thing go away, all the compensation. But I do not think that Jack is going away. I think he might be like a Travis Tanner type of character. Which,
tell me more.
Speaking of Travis Tanner, I think we have to have some old villains coming back in season 5.
You say in the next episode.
I think the next episode we will see someone from the past. I don't think it will be a flashback. I just mean someone comes back that we've already seen, that we already know. I don't know who it's going to be. Tess. I don't know.
But there's
Travis Tanner.
There's going to be a villain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone's coming out of the woodwork.
In season 5.
In
episode 5.
In episode 5, season 5, someone that we have seen before will be back to do naughty, bad things to Harvey.
Bring it.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. I just want to remind everybody that we are going to have a special live episode. It'll be episode 9 and 10 that we'll be doing. We'll be doing that live sometime around the week of November 4th. And we also think that we have a special guest nailed down. We just don't know which week it's going to be, but it's going to happen in season 5. So stick with us. It's the first time that we've had a special guest, and we're super pumped if we can pull this off. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure to check out onlysuitsfans.com, and you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else you get your podcast. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review.
And if you're looking for inspiration to start your review, just say, Amanda and Maggie are the daddies of Suits podcasts.
It's great. You can even leave it there.
You just leave it there. That's
just leave it there. Mm-hmm. Just drop that daddy line right there, like a big daddy review.
Zane.
Ooh. I just did that for the first time and discovered it.
You'd never done that before.
Never done it like that before.
I can't believe it.
Hire me for all your voiceover work.
That was a good one. Okay. Let's get that little thingy thing.